from extreme roller skating, covered in a million bees, and a record so impossible, it will never be broken. Those are just a few of the 22 unbreakable world records included in this video. And first, we've got someone with more strength in a single finger than most of us have in our two arms combined. This guy broke the record by doing 45 one-finger push-ups in 30 seconds. Damn! Talk about having your hands registered as lethal weapons. But if you thought having strong fingers was impressive, imagine the strength and flexibility needed to pull this off. How do you even figure out you can do something like that? It's like discovering you've got rubber bands for bones and wheels for feet. And not only did he do some serious multitasking, he also limbo skated 145 meters beneath poles just 30 centimeters high. I mean, he basically just morphed himself into a vehicle. He's not the only one working wonders on wheels, though, because for anyone who drives, this kind of feels like a personal attack. You mean to say there's people out there parallel parking themselves into the record books? That space was only 8 centimeters either side. I'd need that tripled at least. And if you thought those margins were tight, Dude Perfect set out to beat the world's highest basketball shot from the 108th floor of the Strata. The only problem? Each failed attempt was like a projectile hurtling down to Earth. And there were a lot of them. Watch the car, watch the... Oh... That's gonna leave a mark. But after 4 days and 25 hours of total attempts,
this is the world's highest basketball shot.
They finally sunk it in from 856 feet up in the air. But hey, they're not the only ones playing with gravity, because here's a truck that looks more comfortable airborne than having its wheels on the ground. What better reason is there to build an entire town than to launch a pickup truck 379 feet over the length of it? I know they say Red Bull gives you wings, but have they been replacing the gas with it too? If you don't have wings, or arms for that matter, then having feet like he does is the ultimate superpower. And he's not just a hands-free driver. He's also a professional race car drifter, needing a full airport runway for his skills to take flight. Drifting 172 miles per hour isn't for the faint-hearted, but this man's got the twinkle toes to do it. And while most drifts are over after a couple seconds, what happens when it lasts 8 hours without even stopping once?
To break the record, he needed 549 laps. He is above 2,000 laps right now.
The team over at BMW wanted to complete the longest vehicle drift in existence on a never-ending donut. Not the sweet kind, though, because on the 223-mile circuit, 5 fuel refills were needed over the course of the day. And if you're wondering how they refueled, yeah, they didn't stop for that either. Okay, so we've seen 8-hour-long drifts, driving with feet, and jumping over a whole freaking town. But what if we raise the stakes and switch up the vehicle a little? Just like a fish out of water, it was out of the slopes and into the air, smashing the distance for the longest snowmobile jump with 412 feet. It's hard to believe that this is even real.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
But just like a snowmobile doesn't belong in the air, a tightrope shouldn't be anywhere near the road either. And sure, circus gymnastics can be cool, but why don't we put these acrobatics to a real test by putting their lives on the line? See what I did there? To make it between 2 moving cars. But it isn't just man-made machines that can get you some serious airtime. Wait till you see what this guy can do with a pair of skis. Oh my god, he's still up there? He not only conquered the skies with 253 meters in distance, he also landed like a seasoned pilot too. You don't see that every day. And you don't see unicycles like this every day either. I mean, look at that thing. It's basically sightseeing on the move, except with a lot more anxiety.
I want to do something that no one else in the world is doing.
But if unicycles weren't already daring enough, here's a 30-foot tall one called the Tower of Death. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going near anything that has the word death in its name. What's more, this attempt was deemed too crazy to be officially recognized. That alone speaks for itself. But if you thought that sounds crazy, this guy went the speed of a car.
That's 89.41.
On a skateboard, down a hill, without anything strapping him down. Think about it. It's just one tiny rock or pothole at 90 miles per hour, and it's lights out. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, though. This next guy wasn't content taking the safe roads in life either. You see, a regular day at work for him involves high diving into the most shallow pools of water. And I know what you're thinking. High and shallow definitely don't belong in the same sentence, but check this. He just dove from 36 feet into 30 centimeters of water. That seems like a recipe for the worst faceplant possible. I guess they don't call him Professor Splash for nothing. But something tells me this guy's anything but a professor.
This is the most dangerous thing what I ever done.
It's not just me who double-checked the seatbelt on roller coaster rides, right? You know, just in case. Well, this guy checked everything and made sure to ignore them completely. Then he ditched the seatbelts, as well as the whole seating arrangement and carriage, and went fully solo on his skates.
With each hill, the speed builds.
56 miles an hour.
With each turn, the punishing G's get harder to fight.
He's lost the plot. Somebody stop him! And since we're on the topic of having cojones of steel, we gotta talk about the human cannonball. Warning, this is a trained professional in a controlled environment. Do not attempt. Like, seriously, leave this stuff to the pros. I mean, this gives a whole new meaning of firing live rounds. And if the human ammunition part wasn't crazy enough, well, he also blasted himself through a ring of fire. Let's be real, a stunt like that would even scare Johnny Knoxville. But something Knoxville would never dream of attempting is taking on bees. Many bees.
According to experts, 10,000 bees weigh approximately 1 kilo, so it's estimated Gal's body was covered by about 1.1 million bees.
One way or another, those little stingers will keep you on your toes. But this guy decided to cover himself from head to toe in over 1 million of them. Being niche when it comes to breaking records can go a long way, but this is going overboard, isn't it? Probably not as overboard as the records coming up, though. Like this wingsuit flight through a cave. Jumping from a plane without a parachute. And a record so out of this world, I might get in trouble for showing you. But look, whether you're the world's first at that or at this, let's not discriminate, guys. Both are as impressive as the other. Did he just base jump into another plane? Jesus. 1 million bees was terrifying, but base jumping into a moving plane mid-flight is insane. That landing did look nice, though. I bet James Bond and Tom Cruise are taking notes. But here's something that could never make its way to the silver screen. When it comes to having pinpoint accuracy, people usually think of hitting targets, but the point here was 2 tunnels. And his pin was a plane. Now that's having tunnel vision. He just brought a GTA stunt into real life. I hope this guy knows there's no respawning in the real world. Okay, enough of the games. This right here is a 2-meter cave, and he intends to fly through it. And not just with some remote-controlled drone. No. That would be too easy. He's putting on his wingsuit and channeling his inner Superman. This might just be one of the few times where wearing a helmet is completely useless. But when you can fly through the air this skillfully, there's no such thing as a gap too tight. But what's more intense? That or this? Anyone 172 feet high up would usually need to be attached to some sort of safety harness. But what if I were to tell you he's not just taking in the views, he's gonna become the view?
Just falls. Oh, he's got to hold it. He's moving a little too fast. Oh, he punched through. Good dive.
And I don't know about you, but I think anyone who's prepared to dive about 105 feet per second deserves the Medal of Bravery. But there's no trust fall out there quite like this one. The most important thing to remember when you go skydiving is definitely a parachute. But he deliberately left his behind and went solo 25,000 feet from the air. Seriously? Who comes up with this stuff? And even more, who approves them? This is one thing you do not want to miscalculate. But look, perfect accuracy. Alright guys, now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. The #1 most insane record that will never be broken. I'm talking about something so crazy, he wasn't even sure he'd make it out in one piece. The only possible thing that can top jumping 25,000 feet out of a plane without a parachute is free falling from space. At approximately 39 kilometers into the stratosphere, not only did he become the first person to free fall from space, he also became the first to break the speed of sound on his way down and live to tell the tale. Now that's one giant leap for mankind.